Welcome back to the NDS video blog series. In this video, we're diving deep into the topic of hair follicle drug testing. We'll be covering a lot of information and discussing everything you truly need to know about hair follicle drug and alcohol testing. A hair follicle drug test is one of the newer types of drug testing available compared to other testing types, and is quickly becoming the preferred drug testing for employers as well as court-ordered probation testing. Hair testing allows for the detection of substances like marijuana, cocaine, opiates, barbiturates, and many other types of drugs. Hair drug testing can determine if a person has ingested drugs in the past 90 days. And as of the beginning of 2021, hair testing is not allowed for DOT testing or federal workplace drug testing. But hair testing is becoming very popular with non-DOT employers. Since hair tests can identify drug use farther back in a person's recent past than a urine test can, many employers are now opting for a hair drug test, particularly for pre-employment screening. It's also becoming more common in the legal industry when court-ordered drug testing may be required, like for probation or divorce and child custody cases that may have mandatory drug testing. Urine drug tests can only identify drug use going back a few days or up to about a week into an individual's recent past. And for that reason, hair drug or hair alcohol ETG tests are better suited to detect binge or chronic drug usage over a more extended period of time. National Drug Screening provides 5-panel, 7-panel, 9-panel, 12-panel, 14-panel, and 17-panel hair follicle testing. All of our drug tests can be purchased online or by calling us at 866-843-4545 to schedule a test at a location near you. Drug testing centers for hair drug testing are available in all areas of the United States. You can also order your hair test online. It's often called a hair follicle test, but this terminology is not actually correct. Testing a hair follicle would involve plucking hair out of the scalp. This is not what happens. Rather, the hair is cut at the base of the scalp. The laboratory tests the drug metabolites that are embedded within the hair. And currently, there are not any known ways to cheat on the hair drug test. Sometimes people will shave off all the hair on their body, and this just makes it impossible to even do the hair test. And if a hair drug test is required for employment, in an instance like this, then the individual who shaved their entire body will simply not be eligible for the job any longer. Hair drug testing is a good option for a test such as a date rape test. Hair testing can detect drugs beginning at about the 7th previous day, going back up to 90 days. And because of this, many judges and court systems are now requiring hair drug testing instead of or in combination with urine testing. So let's take just a moment to talk about the types of hair drug test panels. There are several types of hair drug test panels available depending on the substances you want to test for. The most common tests ordered are 5-panel and 12-panel hair tests. However, you can find comprehensive hair testing for any and all combinations of drug and alcohol use. Here are the different hair test panels offered by National Drug Screening and the types of substances they test for. The 5-panel hair test. The 5-panel hair test with expanded opiates. The 7-panel hair test. The 9-panel hair test. The 12-panel hair test. The 14-panel hair test. The 17-panel hair test. The new 17-panel hair drug test is the most comprehensive panel test available in the United States. Additional hair tests available are the ETG alcohol test, the date rape drug test, and the vaping hair test panel. Now, let's cover some of the most common questions about hair testing, starting with, how does hair testing work? Well, it starts with you placing an order by phone or online and receiving a donor pass to go into a local facility. There, your hair is collected from your head or body. Head hair is preferred. Once the hair sample is collected, it is sent to one of our many certified labs for professional analysis, along with a review from a certified medical review officer. Negative results for a basic 5-panel hair follicle drug test are usually available within 2 to 3 days. The more complex 9 to 17 panel tests may take a couple days longer. Non-negative initial test results are sent for confirmation testing via GCMS, which may take an additional few days. Can body hair be tested for drugs or alcohol? If the head hair is not long enough or the head is shaved, then a sample of body hair from the legs, chest, or armpits can be used instead. And occasionally, if suitable, beard hair can also be used. Why is hair drug testing so effective? Although it is still fairly new technology, hair testing is very effective as long as it's administered by a properly trained technician. National Drug Screening is a national leader in hair drug testing. Our experience has allowed us to develop the expertise that has helped to make our testing processes as simple and efficient as possible. All of our tests are analyzed by certified labs like LabCorp or Quest Diagnostics. Hair follicle tests are also always reviewed by a certified MRO before the results are released. If an initial screening yields non-negative results, the specimen will then undergo additional gas chromatography mass spectrometry confirmation testing. This allows individuals that may be legitimately taking prescription medication a chance to provide authorized proof to our doctors, the MRO. As long as the individual takes the medication in accordance with the prescribed dosage, then the final report will list the result as a negative. Why choose hair testing over urine-based testing? Well, hair drug testing has a much longer detection window than urine drug testing. When a person ingests a drug, it enters into the bloodstream while the body simultaneously metabolizes the drug, causing those metabolites to circulate through the blood as well. And since a person's blood nourishes their hair follicles, any ingested drugs and their metabolites are deposited into the hair follicle. And once there, the evidence of drug use remains indefinitely once the hair grows out of the follicle, and it remains until the hair is cut or shaved. Plus, it's significantly more difficult to cheat on a hair drug test. Hair tests analyze the drugs inside the hair shaft, upon which external contaminants and chemicals have no effect. Standard hair testing has about a 90-day look-back period to detect drugs, and as soon as about 7 days after ingestion. Typically, each half-inch of head hair is giving a look-back of about 30 days. Most laboratories will only test about 1.5 inches of head hair without a special request and an increased cost. Body hair can also be tested, although some labs will only test head hair, so it's important to ask about this in advance if you don't have at least 1.5 inches of head hair. 100 milligrams of hair is the ideal sample for screening and confirmation, which is about a 1.5 inch sample, equaling about 200 strands of hair, which is about the size of a number 2 pencil. Hair is collected as close to the scalp as possible. In addition, hair can be collected from several head locations and combined together in order to obtain the required amount of hair. For ETG hair testing and for drug panels with 12 or more substances, additional hair is needed. 150 milligrams of hair is recommended. And if body hair must be used, the hair can be collected from several body locations, excluding pubic areas, and combined together to obtain the required amount of hair. And for body hair, at least 100 milligrams of hair must be collected, and more if the test is for ETG hair testing or if testing for 12 or more drugs. Is hair testing used for workplace drug testing? Hair drug testing has also become popular for workplace drug testing and screening potential hires. And although it's more expensive than urine drug testing, it may be more effective long-term to do the more expensive test than to hire a substance abuser. The hair drug test can detect drugs as soon as 7 days and goes back up to 90 days. With the urine drug test, the applicant or employee might refrain from drug use for 5 or more days and avoid the detection of illegal drugs in the urine. So in reality, using hair drug tests for pre-employment testing would be more effective in the prevention of hiring a substance abuser. Several large trucking companies are now also performing hair testing in addition to the required 5-panel urine lab-based testing required by the DOT. Some of these companies include J.B. Hunt, C.R. England, Schneider Trucking, Swift Transportation, Shell Oil, and others. These companies cite safety and the large investment required to bring on new drivers as their primary motivation for conducting hair drug testing in addition to the required DOT urine drug screens. It will be interesting to see how hair drug testing takes its place within the overall DOT program. One challenge we see with hair drug testing is the training of hair specimen collectors. Many times, specimens received at the labs are rejected for an insufficient quantity of specimen, meaning there just wasn't enough hair collected. We also see different labs quoting different quantities of hair being required for their hair drug testing. So standardization will be very important. At National Drug Screening, we work to ensure that all those who are conducting collections for our clients are properly trained. If you would like to learn more about hair drug tests or how specimen collection works, you can reach out to us at 866-843-4545. And before we wrap up this video, let's do a quick recap of what we've covered and throw in some other quick facts about hair follicle drug testing. Hair follicle drug tests are becoming more popular because of their ability to go deeper into a person's substance history. They are also more difficult to cheat, and this has the legal industry and employers using them more frequently. Hair testing can detect drugs up to 90 days after use. Hair tests are nearly impossible to cheat. Shampoo can't mask a drug's presence in the hair. Secondhand smoke does not lead to a positive hair test. Hair follicle testing does not test for different drugs, it only increases the effectiveness of the test. If you choose a 5-panel test, it will still test for marijuana, cocaine, PCP, opiates, and amphetamines. Contrary to popular belief, hair tests detect the same type of drugs as your typical 5, 7, 10, and 12 panel urine tests. The standard 90-day hair test requires the subject to provide a sample that is 1.5 inches long. If the subject shaves his or her head prior to the test, a screening facility can perform the test with body hair. If no hair is available, a urine test is the only way to screen that particular person. If you're in need of a hair drug or alcohol test, contact National Drug Screening. Whether you're an employer looking for workplace screening or an individual who simply wants to know if you're able to pass a hair test, we can assist you. National Drug Screening provides accurate and fast hair follicle drug testing nationwide. Our drug testing compliance experts can help you determine which test is best for your needs and purposes, all while keeping in compliance with your state's laws and regulations. We provide drug and alcohol screening for employers and individuals throughout the United States. Call us today at 866-843-4545 to discuss your hair follicle drug testing needs and requirements. And as always, thanks for watching this video. We hope it was helpful to you in some way. Stay tuned for our upcoming videos, or just visit our full YouTube channel at drugtestvideos.com and search for what you need help with. We have dozens upon dozens of videos waiting to assist you addressing lots of various topics in the world of drug testing. Until next time, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already.